Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Aggressive Progressive. We're feeling very aggressive. Steve O's in the house. Steve O, I'm my new co-host.
Yeah! Aggressive. Is that aggressive enough, Jimmy?
That is very, very aggressive. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming back. You've been busy.
I've been gone for a couple of weeks. I missed it.
Yeah, I know. You get to watch, though. It's fantastic.
I do. I watch all the time. It's a great show.
Awesome. You imagine I could stay upset that long?
Well, one of the shows, it was driving me crazy because you guys had too many breaks.
One show.
Yes, I was like, guys, tone down the brakes.
Yeah, there was a break. Yeah. We took a break in between our breaks.
That's right.
Steph Zamorano, the miserable liberal, is here. Hi, Steph. How are you?
Right? I had to.
We all have to now.
Also with us is Ron Placone, ladies and gentlemen.
Howdy. Was that?
Not that aggressive, Ron.
That was the best I got.
Ron's a sweet guy. It's hard to pull it off when you're a nice guy like Ron.
He's mild-mannered.
Mild-mannered.
Not as aggressive as the rest of the aggressives. So we got a lot coming up on today's show. Steph and I were up in Vancouver, Canada, and we were there for the Allard Prize for International
Integrity.
Integrity, thank you. And we were guests of honor. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We'll show you what that's all about. People who are really fighting corruption and paying a price for it. We're also going to talk about proof that Colin Kaepernick is now being blackballed. We have definitive proof that that's happening. We're also going to take a look at how Trump handled the Puerto Rico visit on Tuesday. And we're going to take a look at the response to the shooting in Las Vegas. And plus, Chuck Todd does the bidding of the establishment on Medicare. And we're going to talk about that too. So right now, let's go to, this is down in San Diego. We were in San Diego last Monday, or Monday before last, right? The 25th.
Yeah, 25th we were there, yeah.
And this is Steph going outside, take a look at the audience. Oh, look, there's some TYT gear. Look at that, some people wearing TYT stuff. Let's see how.
The audio?
See that guy there in the cowboy hat? Did you see him? He's running for. He's running for Congress. Is he running for state assembly? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was Congress. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so much fun.
Look at this line.
Everybody tonight. What do we have? Like 45 more minutes into the fun, right?
Look at the people.
Excited.
So.
Look at this. I'm just gonna keep going.
That's my cousin and his wife.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that's my cousin and his wife. He kind of looks like me a little bit.
Hello. Great to see you.
Steph, hey Jimmy.
Hello.
He needs a
Look
book
at
sign.
this.
Oh yes. Yeah. Who signed the book?
So it says. So I just wanted to show you. You can stay on the computer, so we can see. Look at all the people. I'll just talk over it. But that line keeps going, baby. That line doesn't stop.
That line's for you, Jimmy. That's awesome.
That's for the TYT's Jimmy Dore show. That's what that right there. Look how that line keeps going. Anyway, so that was pretty cool.
I think they were expecting me. That's why the line was extra long. Is that right?
There was a sign that said Steve O's coming, but he didn't. All right. So, but here's what I want. So we had a great time in San Diego. Our live shows are always a blast. People have a great time. Next one, by the way, is going to be November 6th in Burbank, and then after that, November 12th, we're in Portland, Oregon. So Portland, Oregon, the Jimmy Dore show is coming to Portland, Oregon on November 12th, right?
Yeah, October 16th.
What did I say?
October 16th, we're at the Improv.
Oh, we're at the Improv October 16th?
October 16th.
Oh, there's a lot of shows.
Forget about that one, yeah.
So go to jimmydoorecomedy.com.
Wait. When are you in Portland?
November 12th.
November 12th.
What day of the week is it?
That's
It's a
Sunday.
What?
I want to go.
You should go.
I'm going to try to go.
Okay.
They're really fun, Steve.
I know.
You're going to lose your mind.
I was in Portland this past weekend. I love Portland. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
All right, so here's someone we met on the Monday night show. And so we meet everybody afterwards, right? We sign things, t-shirts and what have you, and we get to meet the fans, which is fun. And here's a gentleman who's a former military guy, and listen to what he does.
And veterans for peace and stuff like that. And as you can see, a bunch of delegates were actually veterans too.
So if I wanted to learn more about Veterans for Peace in San Diego, where would I go?
It's veteranforpeace.org, no?
Yes.
Yeah, .org.
Okay.
What is counter recruitment?
So we're actually in a nonprofit. It's called Project Llano, Youth and Non-Military Opportunities. And we go to high schools and we do workshops. And we talk to them about realism of joining the military, what the recruiter doesn't tell you, what the media doesn't tell you.
Isn't that awesome? These guys go to high schools and do counter recruiting, right? So you know when the recruiters from the army and the military go, they say, oh, you're gonna go to college, we'll give you this, and everybody's nice to you in the military, and it's all gonna be great, and we'll pay for your car. You can't believe how good. They come and they tell you the truth. These guys come to high schools and they've been in the military and they're not lying to you, trying to get you to waste your life. They're actually gonna tell you the truth about it. So let's go back to this.
When you actually join, you're not promised these things. You're not promised these jobs or careers or MOS, that's what we call them. And this is what actually happens. Divorce rates are higher. Sexual assaults are higher with women in the military and males. So these are the realism of joining. Separation of family is fucking bad. And all for corporation, military industrial complex. That's like the back burner type of conversations that we have.
And tell me your name again.
Juan Perez, and I'm from San Diego.
Right. So good on you, Juan Perez. Is that how you say his name? And thanks for doing that. Thanks for, I mean, that warmed my heart, right? So you see all these bad stories about us spending more money on the military, us killing more innocent people over in the Middle East for no reason at the behest of corporations or the petrodollar or Saudi Arabia or whatever the reason is. It's never for what they tell you it is. And it's good to see military guys with a good story going into high schools telling people the truth about it. Wasn't that, how did you feel about that, Steve?
Yeah, it's rare to see that. And you know, I don't like the way the media portrays the military and military personnel as a monolith. They're all super pro-war and they all love Republicans. That's just not the truth.
Right.
There are many people who are critical thinkers in the military who love the country, but they see the flaws that we have and ways we can be better. And they ask the right questions. I mean, Pat Tillman is a perfect example.
Pat Tillman,
you know, the right reveres him as this amazing, sexy, awesome American male warrior who was a super patriot that gave up football and millions of dollars to go fight in foreign wars. But the reality is that he had lots of very good questions about our motivations for being there and the role of the military-industrial complex and the way our combat troops are treated. So yeah, I like to see more and more military personnel step up and speak out about some of these issues.
Steph, you were there talking with that guy.
Yeah, I just have to say that, you know, I used to teach high school. And so when I would teach high school, you would see military personnel on campus talking to other kids. Oh my God, that's an awful feeling. That's just like, I wanted to go up and say, hey, you go away from them, step away from them.
No kidding.
Move away, go to the other side of the street because they're so vulnerable. And I think a lot of kids, I think I've shared this before, I had a student that I taught freshman year. Last year he graduated from high school and he came to me and he said that he just joined the military. They would care for his college tuition and he wanted to become a doctor. And that was the only way for him to do that.
Wow.
And he already committed to everything, and I wish anybody who joins the military well, but you know, seeing a guy like Juan Perez go out there and communicate to kids the other side to what they're learning is pretty powerful. And I look forward to having him on the show, Jimmy, in the future again.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to that guy again. Yeah. Ron, did you meet that guy?
Yeah, I did get to meet him, and yeah, I mean, I kind of echoing everyone here that's a totally necessary endeavor to do because it's like when you see what some of these recruiters do, it's so good to see there's someone else that's going to take them aside and be like, okay, you know those video games you just played and all that stuff you did, that's not what it's like at all. It is not like that at all. You need to know what you're really getting into. Yeah, should you do this?
Okay, so real quick, we're going to cover. So we're going to talk to those guys more, Juan Perez and the Veterans for Peace. So God bless Veterans for Peace. But right now I want to talk about Trump went to Puerto Rico. And I don't like covering stories that the mainstream news media has already covered ad nauseum unless I have a different angle on it, which I don't, but I'm going to cover this anyway, right? So here's Trump in Cuba yesterday. In Puerto Rico yesterday. And you know, the people are really wiped out. So like, you know, half the island doesn't have drinking water. Imagine that. So they don't have refrigeration, so people can't get medicine. There's kids who can't get their diabetic medicine. So there's lots of real misery happening right now. Lots of death. And this is what Trump had to say when he was there.
Mick Mulvaney is here, right there, and Mick is in charge of a thing called budget. Now, I hate to tell you, Puerto Rico, but you've thrown our budget a little out of whack. Because
So I don't know, maybe that's the wrong tone. Maybe you don't make a goof. You don't go, hey, you're throwing our budget all out of whack, you guys, huh? Come on, huh? You're really screwing us.
Well, doctors often go to their patients in the hospital and say, you know, this treatment, this cancer treatment, it's costing us a lot of money.
Wow.
You're taking up a lot of drugs that we could be using for other people. You should feel guilty that you're getting treatment.
Hey, poor person, you see the Medicaid budget? Whoa, okay, here's your cancer treatment. Yeah, exactly. Not the right time to be doing that. So that's just, again, the guy's the wrong guy. That's what a comedian would do when he shows up. But you're in the middle of those people literally are dying. They literally can't get clean water to drink. Not the time to be goofing. That's from a professional comedian.
Well, they say comedy is tragedy plus time. And then Donald Trump took that time part and he was like, nah, not today.
No.
Too soon, Donald, too soon.
Yeah, that's exactly what comedy's just, so he's got a little bit more to say. Let's listen.
A lot of money on Puerto Rico, and that's fine. We've saved a lot of lives. If you look at every death is a horror. But if you
But they cost a lot of money to prevent.
Oh boy, and it's horrible, but some are more or less horrible than others, right? And I'm gonna guess the Puerto Rican deaths aren't as horrible as other deaths. Let's see.
look at a real catastrophe like Katrina, and you look at
Just check out what he just said. If you look at a real catastrophe like Katrina, unlike what they're living through now in Puerto Rico. And the reason why to Trump, one was a real catastrophe and one isn't as bad is, well, here he says.
Tremendous hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that died. And you look at what happened here with really a storm that was just totally overpowering. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. And what is your death count as of this moment? 17?
16 certified.
16 people certified.
It's only 16 deaths. What's the big deal?
So yeah, so it's not.
Relax, dude.
Yeah, everybody ease
Whatever.
up.
What are you crying about? Only 16 people died. What's the big deal?
He goes down to the.
He's unbelievable.
This isn't a big deal, and quite frankly, I'm nailing it. 16, I'm awesome.
Yeah. No, it's like doctors say the cancer. That's only lung cancer. It's not colon cancer.
Yeah.
What are you crying
Good
about?
thing you
What's
don't
the
have
big deal?
pancreatic cancer.
That's pancreatic,
let me tell you about a cancer. That's a bad cancer.
Yeah.
You crybabies with your regular lung cancer. Everybody gets lung cancer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
And
yes.
it's certified. Those deaths are certified, just so you know.
They're certified.
It's awful.
So the island is so wiped out, they can't even issue death certificates. They have no idea how many people are dead. So, or dying. And so that's just him trying to see it's not so bad. Everybody's saying it's really horrible down. I'm gonna put it in perspective. It's not so horrible, so we're not doing such a bad job. And that's all that is.
That is just unbelievable that someone can have the mindset that you go to a place where they are just mired in misery and sadness, a lot of hopelessness, tragedy, catastrophe, all piled on top of, and he's like, yeah, it's not as bad as the other one from like 10 years ago or 5 years, however many years ago that was, right?
Yes.
That's incredible.
I just like to see if you go to the handbook on how to handle a horrible tragedy like this hurricane, I think at first it says open with some mild ribbing.
I want to see his note cards from his speech. Open with budget joke.
Budget joke.
Talk about how not as bad as Katrina.
It wasn't as bad as a plague.
That's right. Yeah. That's when people, boy,
a lot of people died then.
I mean, AIDS is bad, but the plague, that's the real. That's literally what he's did.
You know, I think the real tragedy is that presidential windbreaker he's wearing.
Oh, it's nice to see him in rain gear. It is nice to see Trump wear some rain gear. So here he goes. So you know, Donald Trump. I understand why people voted for Donald Trump. If you voted for Donald Trump, I get you wanted to break the system, and the only thing you had left to do it was Donald Trump and flawed character to try to break the system with. But the guy's a jerk president, right?
And you can't possibly still support him.
And not to say that Hillary Clinton would have been a better president or she wouldn't have done more horrible things. I'm not saying any of that.
Well, look, let's be real. I agree with you, but she would have handled this better.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he's a joke. Yeah. He doesn't even know how.
Anyone would have handled it better than this. Yes. This is embarrassing.
You know what? You know, Steve, I see what you're saying, but I have to disagree.
What?
They couldn't even handle the election properly. They lost to Donald Trump. I still don't think they could handle much.
Well, that's a good point.
Just not making fun of these people for not dying the same numbers as Katrina. Yes. Just that alone is better. So I'm certain Hillary, anyone would have been, Jeb Bush, they all would have been better than Trump in this regard.
They would have been publicly, they would know how to be more tactful.
Yeah.
They just needed to know how to win.
The problem is now they're getting supplies to the island, but they can't get it from the docks to the people because the roads are wiped out. They have no workers to take care of people. And so they have a lot of stuff piling up at distribution centers. They need helicopters. They have less than 100 helicopters in Puerto Rico. They need 150. Where are those extra 50 to 75 helicopters? Why can't we get them there? So we just spent $80 billion more a year in the military. We can't get 100 helicopters to Puerto Rico? Is this really, we have to move heaven and earth to get 100 helicopters? Yes, turns out we do. So here he is at one, so let's go to my computer, and here he is at one of those distribution centers. And now, I don't know if you've ever been to Tonight Show, but that's what they do with t-shirts when they're warming up the crowd. They throw out t-shirts to the crowd. Hey, look, and he's acting like you're not at a rally.
It's a fucking game to him.
It is.
He's throwing it like he's shooting a basketball or something, right? He's having fun, and he thinks he's cool because he's flipping it in a athletic way or something. I don't know. This guy's a joke.
Hey, you guys had a hurricane? Here's some paper towels. Wipe your tears, crybaby. You're throwing paper towels at hurricane victims. That's what hey, what the F, Ron?
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I see a budgetary disaster. That's like 2 trips to Costco Air Force One had to make. Really cutting in the budget there with those paper towels.
So I just wanted to show you what Barack Obama was a buffoon for different reasons than this. He's a buffoon because he's a clown on the surface. Barack Obama was a buffoon because he pretended to be serious on the surface while he was selling us out underneath. So, but that's just, he doesn't even know how to fake it. That's what I guess I'm trying to say. He doesn't even know how to fake it. He comes out, makes fun of Puerto Rico. It's been budgeted. This isn't so bad. Hey, you want some paper towels? I'm gonna shoot it like I'm shooting basketball.
No, I think it's a little bit beyond that. Yes, a lot of politicians fake it, but I think a lot of politicians, on the left and the right, I think they genuinely care about these victims, and they genuinely feel bad. Now, whether they're going to do anything about it is a different question, but I think they genuinely feel bad. If Barack Obama were there, if Hillary Clinton were there, they would genuinely feel bad for these people who are suffering. I don't know how much they're going to do, but this guy doesn't feel that, he doesn't care. He is, I think, clinically.
I think he's a dictionary sociopath.
He is. Yeah, he just doesn't care about any other human being.
Where you lack empathy.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so you lack empathy. So, which I think a lot of politicians are that way. I don't know how you could give your vote to go drop bombs on poor people in the Middle East and call yourself a decent person. I don't think, hey, we're gonna go bomb Iraq. They didn't have anything to, this is, I'll vote for it. And if I knew it was a lie and Steve knew it was a lie, then you best damn believe the most powerful people in the world knew it was a lie too. The Iraq war I'm talking about, and they went along with it anyway. And then they ordered torture to cover it up, and Barack Obama just sealed the torture report. So we can't ever find out what they did or why. So again, not that Trump is any worse morally of a human being than any of the other politicians, but it's just kind of funny to see that he can't even appearances in the middle of a disaster. He can't even be tactful to disaster victims when he shows up. Hey, look, what a paper towel. He's throwing paper towels at hurricane victims as if that, and by the way, I don't know who those people are lined up there if you looked at them.
I'm sure they're vetted.
They're all giggly to see Trump. It's like a Trump rally.
I'm sure they're vetted by Trump's team to make sure there are no protesters.
There's no protesters.
No one's gonna say anything. Yeah, and look, he's having a jolly good time.
Yeah,
he's smiling and he is flipping it out like a basketball. And for him, it's fun. It's fun and games.
Yes.
Like he really doesn't understand or care, that there's deep suffering there. He just doesn't care about it.
Well, he told people to have a good time.
He did,
right? That was like his message to some people that lost everything. Yeah, have a good time.
He said something. And he said, "All right, well, take care and have a good time."
Yeah,
he said, have a good time.
Have a good time.
Have a good time. So, anyways, so I get, again, if you voted for Trump, I understand why you voted for Trump. I couldn't bring myself to vote to give my vote to horrible people anymore. That's why I voted for the Green Party and a Green New Deal and Jill Stein. That's why I voted that way, and I can sleep at night. I have a clear conscience. And all those people who voted for Hillary Clinton, you got Trump anyway. Don't you wish you would have used your vote for your conscience now? Because you could have, and we would have got the same result anyway, except the world would be a little bit better, because then the neoliberals in the Democratic Party would be put on notice that they can't count on your vote anymore. But now they still do. In fact, they got a little worse after the losing to Donald Trump. They moved a little farther to the right after losing to Donald Trump, because they can count on your vote. They can't count on my vote anymore. Steve, you voted for Jill Stein, right?
I did.
All right, that a boy. How about you, Steph?
I voted for Jill Stein.
Ron Placone?
Jill.
Look at that. Talk about progressive panel. This is an aggressive panel of progressives.
So here's why I voted for Jill Stein, just real quick. I don't really know that much about her in particular, and I don't know if she's a serious candidate. I just think it's very important, especially in a state like California where your vote doesn't really even matter, right? To vote for third parties so they can hit the 5% and get natural federal funds, and they could grow the party. I want more voices.
Right.
The duopoly that we have with the two major parties is not good for America.
Well, obviously it's not. Look what it led to. Look where we are. Biggest income disparity since the Gilded Age. We got Donald Trump as president. We got the Democrats wiped out at every level. And go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say real quick, for me it's a no-brainer, because I really feel like if you live in a safe state, you not only should vote your conscience, I think you are obligated to vote your conscience. I think you're doing a disservice if you don't.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking about Puerto Rico. They have no voice.
Right.
Yeah, they have no voice.
Maybe that's why Trump isn't giving the response to Puerto Rico that people think we should
Lady
have.
Gaga tweeted about that.
Oh, really?
She said he cares about Texas and their however many electoral votes, and Florida and their electoral votes. But Puerto Rico, they don't have electoral votes, not relevant, don't care.
Okay, we'll be right back. You know how it works. This is the free part of the show. We're gonna go to a members only feed right now. And if you wanna see the rest of this show, we got another hour coming up. Go to tytnetwork.com/join. Become a member, it's only $10 a month. You're supporting independent media. And if you're already a member, go to tytnetwork.com/members live. We'll be right back.